Hey, what up everyone, this is MandoAllDay back with another video. In today's video, I'll be doing a build guide for Colossus. I'll be going over the artifacts, medallion insignia, and slots 1 through 5 items, as well as go over the powers, talents, and traits, the hero synergies, and at the very end, show you my rotation and give you some tips and pointers as far as how I was able to pass Cosmic Trial without using infinity points. So let's get right into it. First thing we're going to look at are the artifacts. The first one is Advanced Circlet of Sidorak. I'm using this for the brutal strike damage rating increase, physical damage rating increase, and the +3 durability. I'm using this obviously for all the stats, but as well as for the +3 durability, because Colossus is durability and strength base, so having that extra +3 durability is really good. Next is Advanced Crimson Crystal of Sidorak. I'm using this for the +2 strength, the health increase, and physical damage rating increase. Overall, this is a really good artifact for him, specifically for this build, because the more health I have, the more damage one of my two of my powers does. So that's really good. Next is Scroll Defender's Medallion. I'm using this for the health increase again, the +1 durability attribute, deflect rating increase, but also 2 when you hit with a melee power, you gain extra dodge, and when you hit with a physical power, you gain extra defense. And when you activate both the physical and melee power, you gain +2 strength. And so Colossus is a melee / physical damage based character, so meaning I'm always gonna get that +2 strength. So I'm always gonna get that extra attribute and increase of dodge and defense. So overall, this is a really good medallion for him. Next is Ultron Encephalo Beam. I'm using this for the +4 strength, damage rating to summon powers, and critical hit rating increase, but also 2 when you hit with a power, recover 2 armor and regenerate 20 health with the physical power. So overall, this is a really good artifact for him, because if this build is a summon, it's a melee / summon, so this is really good for him. Next is Fred Duke's Bodysuit. I'm using this for the +2 strength, the damage rating increase, 1.2 less damage from all attacks, health increase, and +2 durability. So overall, this is a really good artifact for Colossus. And for the Forge, I have Viking's Fidelity. I'm using this for this Forge is 800 defense, and this blessing grants me 2,000 health increase and 2% chance that when you are attacked to regenerate 200 health, and when you drop below 20% of health, gain 2,000 critical rating for 2 seconds. So this is really good because it grants me 2,000 health, and as I mentioned, the more health I have, the more damage a few of my powers does. So overall, this is a really good blessing for him. Next is Micron Crystal Legendary. I'm using this for the 200 armor increase, the health increase, the damage rating increase. All this isn't fully ranked out, but if it was, it'll grant me critical hit rating increase. So in terms of Legendary, it really depends on your build. Many people either use this one or they use the Axe, which I'll show you guys in a bit right here, which is this one right here. This is a really good one too, and they use Shield as well too. Now, it all depends on your build, but me personally, for this particular build, I'm going to stick with this, but the Legendary item grade 80, because this grants me additional armor or spirit, which in turn helps out one of my powers, because the more armor I have, the more damage it does, as well as increases the health, damage rating, and critical hit rating. And again, to my knowledge, the more critical hit rating is shared with summon powers, so my summoners gain that critical hit rating. I could be incorrect, I'm not too sure, but if I remember correctly reading it in the forums, that critical hit rating is shared with your summons. So yeah. Next is Sling Ring of Camartage. I'm using this for the critical hit rating, attack speed increase, the damage rating to melee powers, and health increase. Overall, this is really good. And slots 1 through 5, I use all of his cosmic items except for one, which is the first one. The first one is his unique, and this Mighty Fist of the Juggernaut. So this is a really good unique as well, but this is what I use. Slots 2 to 5 cosmic, and slot 1 is unique. For the costume, I'm using Colossus Age of Apocalypse costume, which I think is pretty dope to me. And then I have here for Catalyst, I have it to where 25% where item find, health increase, +3 strength, crafted affixes critical damage increase, and visuals is size increase. So he does get, there you go, just showing you guys. And for insignia, I'm using insignia of Spider-Woman, So when you and your allies restore 2 armor per second and have a 4% chance when attacked to charm the attacker for 6.2 seconds, which is kind of irrelevant, but I'm mainly using this for the critical damage rating and for the health increase. So in terms of what this offers, in terms of like the Aurora, it's not that great, but this insignia grants me critical damage rating and health increase, which is really, really good. So, and for the pet, I have her to take 2% less damage from enemy melee powers, 1.7 armor recovery per second, which is okay. Base physical damage is increased by 3% when you dodge an attack. Gain 4% damage rating, 4% brutal damage rating for 12 seconds, which is decent. But also this grants me +3 durability. And for team up, Agent Coulson, as always, it's really good for summon. Alright, that's that. For the powers, top to bottom, left to right. Demolition Stomp. Oh, no, I'm not. Sorry. Scratch that. I'm not using that power. Osmium Charge. Titanic Slam. Colossal Punch. Fast Boss Special. Call Kurt. Crushing Smite. Call Kitty. And Colossal War with signature. And then Infinity Points. I said it before, none were used, as you can see. Alright, so in Hero Synergies, I'm using Colossus for the health increase and physical damage rating increase. Daredevil for the damage rating to normal and elite increase and melee power damage increase. Doctor Doom for the signature power damage increase. Hawkeye for the move speed and critical damage rating increase. Moon Knight for the critical hit rating multiplied to physical powers. Nightcrawler for the melee damage increase. Rogue for the health on hit and 1 armor on hit. Squirrel Girl for the damage rating to bosses. Taskmaster for the deflect rating and dodge rating increase and critical damage and melee power damage increase. And Wolverine for the brutal strike and brutal damage rating increase. Now for the talents and traits, I always forget that. So for the first row, I'm using is Stronger Than Steel. So this effect of this, the effects of this power of this talent are tripled when you have no armor. Passive effect. So the total damage increase is 3% and critical hit chances increased by 3%. So basically what this means is it's a passive effect, and when I have no armor, this increases by 3, it triples it. So instead of doing the total damage is increasing 3%, it does to 9%. And then instead of having critical hit chance by 3%, and it triples it to 9%. So overall this is really good because this is a melee, and honestly when using a melee character, especially with Colossus, his armor is always going to be reducing, so having that triple of the critical hit chance and total damage increase is always beneficial. And plus, one of his powers absorbs all of his armor, so meaning that I'm always going to get the triple. Second row I'm using is Meteoric Slam. When your armor reaches maximum, the cooldown of Titanic Slam, which is this one right here, is reset. And Titanic Slam gains the following effects. It costs 100% of the armor, and damage bonus is 5% per 100 maximum armor. So basically what this talent is when I use, when my armor reaches maximum level, which it is right now, it resets Titanic Slam. So if it's on cooldown and armor reaches to maximum level, then it resets it right away. But also 2, when I use, with this talent, when I use Titanic Slam, it consumes all of my armor, but I gain extra damage bonus, which is 5% per 100% maximum armor. So right now it's at 46.5 extra bonus damage. So that's really, really good. Hence why I'm using Micron Crystal, because the more armor I have, it's going to also increase the damage of this. But also 2, Titanic Slam, this is kind of leading into my explanation of powers, but the Titanic Slam also does bonus damage increase, which is 1% per 800 max health. So again, hence why I think this is really good for this particular build, because the armor and health from the legendary is going to help this power tremendously. Next is, third row is True Comrade. Each calling powers provide you with a different buff effect for 10 seconds. So this talent grants me, when I call in Kitty, deflect chance increased by 3%. When I call in Liliana, my defense rating multiplier is increased by 10%. When I call in Kurt, my critical hit damage is increased by 15%. On fastball special, which is the Wolvie, critical hit chance is increased by 3%. So basically, in short, when you activate my summons, which are these right here, I gain this buff right here. So this is really, really good. Fourth row, I left it as is because I don't really use none of the powers here, so it's a bit irrelevant. The last row is Thundering Voice. Colossus War instantly refreshes all powers on cooldown, and while its buff is active, cooldowns refresh twice as fast. Colossus War's duration increases by 2 seconds, which is really good because it instantly resets all your powers, but also too, the duration of Colossus War is increased by 2 seconds, which is good because his Colossus War gives you a buff. And it kind of leads now, it's kind of leading into me explaining the powers, but I just explained his signature. So what it is it does quite a bit of damage, it does a roar, but it also grants you a buff, which increases your health by 6,000, defense rating multiplied by 50%, and the duration is 8 seconds. So again, that's really, really, really good because having that duration extended from that buff is good because, I mean, again, the bonus health is 6,000, and which in turn helps out some of my powers, which I'm going to lead into explaining you the powers here. So just to get it out the way, my main spender is Colossal Punch. It does quite a bit of damage, but also too, the more health you have, hence why this is a really good signature having that buff. The bonus damage is increased by 1% per 1,000 max health. So right now, my max health is at the current damage bonus is 36%. Hence why I use the legendary. Hence why I'm using these artifacts, because these artifacts and specifically this ring here and this blessing grants me more health, and so the more health it gives me, the more damage bonus I get from this Colossal Punch, which is my main spender. Alright, I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, next is Titanic Slam. As I mentioned before, it does quite a bit of damage as is, but that you gain damage bonus, which I mentioned already, 1% per 800 max health, and then 5% per 100 max armor. It's just really good because it increases the damage bonus tremendously. Second is Crushing Smite. It does a lot of damage as is, but the good thing about this is that 1% of damage, the damage is increased by 1% damage per 1% of target's missing health. So whatever, if the enemy you're fighting is missing 50% of the health, then you gain Execute, which is you gain extra 50% damage because of the missing health. But also 2, critical hit chance is 1% per maximum health. So right now my critical hit chance with this alone as is 36%. But when you have this included here, when you have no armor, the critical hit chance is tripled. So I mean that's 9. If we do the math, it's 9. 9 plus 36 is 40. So in other words, this power is going to the likelihood of hitting critical hit, it's going to be increased. So hence why I chose the items I choose, because the more health I have, the more damage it increases to my powers. Next is Call in Kitty. It's literally just activate it, and it does quite a bit of damage. Same thing with all those powers here. The summons, just activate them, and then as obviously when you activate them, you gain the extra buff according to this talent here, True Comrade. Each one grants you different things. Fastball is critical hit, Call Kurt critical hit damage, and then Kitty is deflect. So now it leads into my rotation. It's really simple. My main spender is mentioned, Colossal Punch. That's gonna be my main spender. So what I usually do is Titanic Slam. I activate that just to kind of initiate, this is my first rotation, just to kind of go into my enemies, just to kind of initiate my damage, and as well as 2, just to kind of move into my enemy. So let's show you what I mean. So the first thing is activate Titanic Slam, and then after that, Crushing Smite. And I do that just because that way, 1, I can move into the enemy, and 2, since I'm really close as it is right now, I can activate Crushing Smite and just do my main spec. See that? And I'll walk away. I'll do it again. So let's say you're doing Red Skull or whatever, activate Titanic Slam so I can kind of get close to the enemy and do area damage. And then once I'm close to the enemy, then just do Crushing Smite and then my main spender. Boom, just like that. That's my first rotation. And the second, that's not really a second, but after that, just summon your summons. That's literally, you summon your summons. It's really that simple. So the first thing I do is Titanic Slam, and then Crushing Smite, and then from there, main spender, and just activate your summons. And the good thing about a summons, and I'll activate one by one so you can see how it looks. That way you can kind of, plan accordingly. Is, I'll just show you what it how Kitty looks like.
You can count on me, Katya, until my dying breath.
That's that. Just a little bit area damage. Call Kurt does the same thing, which is area damage. Same, quite a bit of damage. And then fastball special is a range. So what I would do for fastball special, personally, what I would do is try to, I'll show you from over here, try to aim it to where you hit majority of the enemies. So let's just say you're doing Cosmotron and these are the enemies right here. What I would do is angle it to where, before I activate fastball special, try to angle it to where I hit majority of the enemies. So it looks something like this. So you hit all these right here, because it is a range. So again, just to reiterate my rotation, it's Titanic Slam, Crushing Smite, and Main Spender, and just calling your summons whenever you can. And then when it comes to fastball special, try to aim it to where you hit a lot of enemies. But if it's just one single enemy, then just activate it whenever. Looks something like this. Yeah, then after that, just keep doing damage. And then with single target, just call in, and then do it again. That's it. That's it, and just keep doing main spender. Just like so. Now, after that, well, now it's incorporating signature. What do you do? How do you do it? It's really simple. I would say before you activate signature, actually, you can, but before you, actually, yeah, let me explain. What I would do is, before you're activating signature, what I would do is activate all your powers. That way you take advantage of it, because according to this talent here, when you do Colossal War, which is signature, it refreshes all powers, so meaning you can reactivate the powers again. So what I would do is, personally, is use do the rotation, make sure they're all on cooldown. Once you activate them, then do signature. That way all the powers are refreshed, and then you can redo the rotation. So it looks something like this, but again, it's Titanic Slam, Crushing Smite, Main Spender, Summon, Summon, Summon. Once they're on cooldown, signature is going to refresh and redo it all over again. Looks something like this. And then do it again. Just like so. And just keep doing it. That's basically the rotation. The main spender, and then Titanic Slam, Crushing Smite, Summon, Summon, Summon again. Just like so. Very, very easy. Easy peasy, as one of my friends said. And yeah, that's it. That's really my rotation, honestly. That's what I did for me to pass Cosmic Trial. It's a very simple rotation. For some people can say this is I was going to use all summons. Me personally, I felt like with Colossus, I wanted to add more I wanted to add more of Colossus' powers. I feel like he's really strong and he has a lot of powers that can help him out. In terms of like having the more health, the more armor you have, the more damage it does. That's why when I stuck with just 3 summons and then 3 of his powers. That way I can still have fun with Colossus and his powers and still do damage with summons at the same time. But yeah, this concludes my build guide for Colossus. Again, very simple, pretty straightforward. But again, this is the same build I used for me to pass Cosmic Trial without using any affinity points. Once again, if you find this video helpful and useful, or this guide helpful and useful, leave it in the comment section below. Any requests for certain characters, leave it in the comment section below. As mentioned in another video, that Captain America will be next, and I'm looking at probably Nick Fury as well too next week, and maybe the week after probably Jean Grey. Not too sure, but for sure Captain America will be next week. But again, any requests for certain characters, leave it in the comment section below. If you want to keep up to date with my channel, or you want to support the channel, please do subscribe to my channel, because not only does it help the channel grow, but also means a lot to me as well. And yeah, this is my build guide for Colossus. Again, simple, straightforward. Hopefully it's not too complex, which I don't think it is. And yeah, this is a really good, fun build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. On to the next one. Bye-bye.